Hi, NFTCON. My name is Tessa, and I'm here today with Vivien and Lyndaine, both from Satoshi Women. So Vivien and Lyndaine, could you please, let everybody know about your backgrounds and then explain why you guys created Satoshi Women and what exactly Satoshi Women is?
Fantastic.
Sure. Yep. I can start with that. So I came from a corporate background, has been in corporate for 20 years, and then moved into crypto space about 2019, joined an exchange. And, when I was working at the exchange, I've noticed actually the representation of female is relatively low, actually, particularly at the senior level. So I've already wanted to start something then, but obviously, I've got a bit more time on my hands now, actually doing more sort of consultancy and board advisory roles. And so actually met Lyndaine about a year or so ago. She was doing a similar job at another exchange, and we had a female contact, actually Miss Bitcoin. She is one of the earlier Japanese evangelists in Bitcoin, and got very fascinated on her posting on Twitter about all the manga arts that she has for NFTs. So got really interested. And so Lyndaine and I thought, actually, let's try to do something that's relatable to female. Let's try to grow the community and to see if we can do something in the space. So that's kind of how we got started. And then I'll pass it over to Lyndaine to talk about her background, and then probably give a bit more context about Satoshi Women.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that, Viv. My name is Lyndaine. I'm currently the Chief of Staff for Foosang. We're Asia's first and only fully regulated digital securities exchange available to retail investors. Prior to this, I used to work at A Securities, which is a mobile stock brokerage platform, which was then acquired by SoFi, which is one of the top 5 fintech companies in the States, led by ex-Twitter's Anthony Noto. I've also worked for another fintech company called Privé Technologies, which operate a wealth management B2B technology platform. So I've been in the fintech space for a while. I've also been part of several organizations sharing a common theme of supporting women in their careers and holistically improving their lives. That includes Women in Finance Empower You and also the Cherie Blair Foundation. So very similar to Vivien, I've noticed that women are underrepresented in the cryptocurrency sector. It's predominantly male in both professional sense. For example, the number of people employed and also where the number of users is concerned. I also remember when we were thinking of putting this community together, every time I go and sort of like talk to women in, say, shops or, my yoga studio, and I said, hey, are you into crypto? They were like, yeah, I've heard of it, but, I just let my husband do that thing. Or my boyfriend is into that thing. No, it's beyond my comprehension, right? It's too complicated. And to me, really, it can be a little bit complicated, just like any other things that's new. Right. But we feel like I think there's not enough sort of support or access there that women can sort of reference to in order for them to even have, a basic knowledge of this industry in order for them to sort of appreciate it or, make an informed decision whether or not they wanted to participate in whatever shape or form.
That's awesome. So in what other ways do you guys support the onboarding or bringing women into this space? Because it is extremely difficult to navigate and crypto moves so quickly, as you guys both know.
Yeah, I think we're doing a few things. So we've got like a, sort of group chat community, which people actually by invite join, and then they have a safe space that they can ask questions, no questions too silly. So I think like in a more sort of practical way, and then we have a really great group from teachers, artists, yoga teachers, ex-finance people. So we want to actually have a broader reach. So I think that's one way. We've been actually doing seminars or webinars actually to talk about, last night I just did one on, fintech versus banking, like what's the difference between two. Those probably will be for like their participants would be like younger students, trying to figure out actually what career they go, and also banking professionals. And then we're doing sort of events actually with FinTech Week too. Lyndaine probably can talk more about that. So I think there are different ways we're drawing people in, and we're doing some media interviews too, actually also to talk about actually other streams of things that we would be able to bring to the table actually with our community.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tessa, when what we would hope is that when people think about Satoshi women, what they would think is that we advocate crypto literacy to women from all walks of life. So what we do here is we provide three things. We educate, we provide access, and also we provide inspiration. So on the education part, like what Vivien said, we're doing our Satoshi Women One-on-One series. So we're going to have our first one, which is going to be end of the month, which is NFT One-on-One.
Wow.
So we're going to help. So we're helping our community members to understand the basics of NFT, even setting up their own MetaMask account. So I think we want to make sure that however we want to sort of educate or provide any sort of access there, it has to resonate well to them. It has to be simple enough. We use simple language for them not to get intimidated. And also we want to be very inclusive where there's no such thing as a basic or stupid question, right? Which I think, this makes it intimidating enough. And sometimes you're like, and even for myself, right? Like, sometimes I do need refreshers like, oh, how did I set up my MetaMask account again? Oh, I need to set up another one. Like,
Right.
So we just want to make sure that, no one feels kind of like, oh, I don't know enough about it. It's like, it's fine. This is why we built a community anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Everybody's
and I'll just,
together. Yeah.
yeah, and I'll just add onto that is that we have a lot of approaches in terms of artists and creators wanting to go into the NFT space. So it's not that we're holding them back, but usually our basic position is like, do you understand what you're doing first? As in, actually, I think you should get more education. Do you know how you can lose everything in a MetaMask? Do you know how security works? And then you can decide actually, what is it that you want to do with NFTs? But we feel that NFT is a great way because neither Lyndaine or I actually are artists, creatives, but we're touching so many different groups of people through actually this NFT. We think it's a great way to engage community, not only in art, you've got fashion, got photography, you've got filming. So I think it's a really unique thing that, number one, actually, it just seems like everybody's really interested in it. Secondly, I think there's just a way to collaborate and to do things with people and groups that you never really felt that you can have that relationship with. Not like finance, I invest in something and that's kind of it, but this is much broader, I think, and much more impactful.
That's really
Absolutely.
well put.
Yeah, and Tessa, we can give you an example of the artist that we recently supported launch her NFT. So this artist is called, she's based in Hong Kong. Her name is Claudia Chan Hoi, and her handler, I think that's what they call, is Brain X Eyes. So you guys can go on Instagram, and she was she's a digital native artist, but she does physical artwork as well. And she was the cover of Tatler in September. So she's really doing great stuff in the art space, right? And so I remember her early this year said, Lyndaine, I've been approached by a few people and they say that I should launch my own NFT. It was like, what is it? And sometimes she calls it MTF, ETF. Anyways, she calls it like many different things. I said, okay. And she said, I don't know what it is. They said it has something to do with crypto and all that stuff. You're in this space, do you know anything about it? I said, okay. So then I gave her a simple explanation. And she said, they told me they're going to help me, but I don't trust them. Right.
Fair.
And yeah, I don't trust them because it's digital. She's concerned about copyrights and crypto. And again, this whole thing is really overwhelming, if you can imagine, right? And then I told Viv, I said, hey Viv, I have this artist friend and she wants to launch her NFT. It's like, I think we got to help her. And I think this is actually where our journey started in terms of starting to talk to artists, like female artists who are actually interested in having their own NFT. They just don't know where to start. So fast forward, Claudia has launched her first one in July. She created one GIF with 10 editions. She managed to sell 6, which is fantastic for a newbie. And then she's also part of a digital art fair, which is a very famous digital native NFT art exhibition here in Hong Kong. So she's got 5 pieces. One of them is currently being auctioned by Sotheby's, and we already have a bidder. And that in itself, you know, it gave her confidence. She said, oh, this is legit. I can actually make more money out of the GIF that I just put in my Instagram, you know, just for content, but not necessarily generating income. So I think these are one of the ways that we wanted to sort of empower women getting into this space. And again, you know, creating, I would say, a new sort of stream of monetizing their art pieces. And Vivien and I just spoke to another lady again, which again, we're going to help her launch her own NFT. So hopefully that's very soon.
So how do, you know, other artists or people who want to help launch their NFT, how do they get in touch with you guys to learn more about this space and Satoshi Women?
Well, we are on LinkedIn. We've got actually our Instagram account, and I think we're on most social media. We've got LinkedIn pages. So I just reach out to us because, as I said, actually a lot of female probably want to get to this space, but the first step really is just through education. They actually, you know, if we can do sort of basic sessions, they can educate themselves. I mean, we have to help them too, of course, but I think, you know, that would be the way that they can form a view whether what can be done. And I think at the digital art fair also, we talked a little bit about, you know, how female versus male, how their work, you know, is getting sold, you know, the price differentiation and all that. And so, yeah, the more like educated, actually, I think creative and artists are actually, the better they are able to sort of make use of the work that they have, because to be honest, there shouldn't be any differences in terms of gender differences in terms of price and otherwise. But I think right now it's just, I think female knows too little, so we just want to change that.
That's a really great point. The information is out there, but it's hard to actually find. So that you make it a very great point. Lyndaine, how would somebody get in touch with you?
Oh, well, yeah, we are. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram. If you guys would search Satoshi Women on Instagram, we're there. You can slide us a DM. We're on LinkedIn. Yes. And obviously our website, which is satoshiwomen.net. We're also on Twitter, Satoshi Women 1. Is that right, Viv?
Yeah, on Twitter. Yeah, it's just the original one is taken. So anyway, we'll be posting things actually we do, I think, along the way. As I said, actually probably through sort of fun, relatable means to see, you know, whatever actually would fit into different sort of categories or different walks of life, actually, that is interested. I'm sure there'll be something for someone.
Yeah, and also Tesa, we work with a number of partners as well, and we want to continuously expand that because, you know, I think me and Viv, we are women of, you know, wearing multiple hats and we have multiple roles, and we know for a fact that we can't just do it on our own. So what we're looking for also partners can help us scale and, you know, scale in a way where we can advocate it to a wider group of women. And we're fortunate enough. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say, are there any partners in particular that would be on your wish list that you wanted, like, be like, oh, you would want these kind of partners?
Yeah, well, Viv, do you want to say?
I mean, sure. The one that we're actively looking at, it's obviously people who actually, well, that's something we're already talking to create more formalized program on the education side, actually either via like online type of training or webinars, like speakers, actually who can speak about different topics. Because, you know, actually, you know, it's me and Lyndaine, and then we've got a good network, but I think we want to do a broad reach. So yeah, anything I think on the educational side, actually, you know, sponsorship or panel speakers, I think that would be probably most useful. The other one, to be honest, is really community building, because we're doing a lot ourselves. We have some people who are helping, but again, I think it's a broad reach. I think those two, I think, will be most important. Obviously, we're looking for others. I mean, luckily, we have a lot of male allies. Actually, one, it's running sort of a crypto marketing company, PR company. So he's been great help. We have another one who's like, subject matter expertise. Another male ally actually who does investing himself, actually quite successful in NFT. So I think we've drawn these people to help us, but yeah, the sort of more the better. But at this point, access and education and community building, I think will be our focus.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys at NFTCON, definitely, if you heard, can help them in any way, let's get the community going, support Satoshi women. They're doing great things for artists, people from all walks of life trying to learn more about crypto. Thank you guys very much, Vivien and Lyndaine. It's been thank you for letting me moderate you guys. It's been very informative. Thank you.
Thank you, Tessa. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.